Welcome to Resonance, a podcast by Quetzal y Andrade, where we talk about bass, effects, and live things. I am on the road, 3-hour drive to a wedding gig out of town, obviously, and it's going to be a great time, though. I mean, there's plenty of local cats that are going to be there, friends of mine, as well as a few new faces that I've never played with, but either way, it's going to be a great time. Cover band music, you already know. We can all get it done. We've all done our homework. And I'm obviously bringing my S. Martin 6-string Freedom 33 bass and my Mono Light pedal board. However, I am actually going to tack on my Optimizer by Aguilar. And I'm excited because I haven't used that pedal at a live gig in years. It's been years. I think I used it for like a year and a half, maybe, or two, post-COVID, if you will. I purchased it during, quarantine time, and I love the sound. I love the fact that it's top jacks. I like it with a blended of sound of dry. I like it with just the lower octave pushed. You get a very Moog sounding material out of it, but I'm taking it today because we're playing a couple of pieces where I'm like, you know what, I got some presets that I have in my Ampero, but I would like to use this today because eventually I'm going to have modular board number 3 with it on there. Once I end up getting the board, again, 3 of the 4 pedals that are going to go on it I already own. I am getting another HX1 with the idea that I don't want to have to gut out mine from underneath modular board number 1 for these type of situations. It's just, that's too much. With everything that's tacked onto it, the dual switch by Pedalnetics, it's too much of a hassle. Let that HX1 be. Get a second, and then tack on the other 3 pedals that I already own, which are the JHS Color Box, the Jackson Audio Bloom, and the Aguilar Optimizer. With that being said, taking the Optimizer today, using it for a couple of tunes, and even then, it makes me think, why even bring that? I used to have a preset that sounded very close to it in my Ampero. And somewhere down the line where I started creating, the banks and presets, I figured, I don't use this often enough. I have my Electro Harmonics Pico pedal, and then I have my other octave stuff that I use in the Ampero as well. But this is not needed, so I just deleted the preset, filled in that spot with something else. So I am going to try to recreate that specific octave sound in the event that I don't want to have my Optimizer on the side of that Mono Light pedal board, and I don't want to take modular board number 3, which is even a larger thing to take, even when I still want that particular octave sound. So there it is. That's the idea. I'm convinced that I need to do some more homework besides building this board in the next couple of days. The riser's coming in today. I may build it tomorrow or the day after. We'll see. But stay tuned. I'll definitely put it on my YouTube channel. I'll definitely put it on my Instagram. And so tonight, it's going to be a great time. I do like the idea that I am double dipping or maximizing my pedals. I was talking to a friend about this. It's like, we could always dream of building another board. But does that mean from the ground up, complete new pedals, or does that mean just utilizing certain things that make the bulk of a new board just in a different arrangement because of certain reasons, right? It's just more efficient, and sometimes, this is where I'm getting to, sometimes we just need a change of scenery, right? It's the reason why some of us go out of town, travel, there's holidays, there's breaks, and we're like, I don't want to spend my break here at home or in the usual space that I am, and I feel like sometimes musically it's the reason why some people will take different instruments to gigs, different basses, different guitars, etc. Yes, certain gigs might call for a specific type of instrument, a P bass, for example, an upright. Um, Maybe it does require that low B 5 string or more, right? You already know I'm a 6 string kind of guy, and it's just I'm always going to have all 6 strings available no matter what. I always have at least my mono light board, so I'm always going to have a certain amount of effects no matter what. But yeah, some gigs require less, some gigs require more, and that's where, yeah, it's fun to have the change of scenery. So it's a me thing for sure, but also I think you do more justice to the venue, more justice to the gig, the band, the overall presentation when you take the correct amount of gear, or at least not the incorrect amount of gear. By that I mean, how many of you have ever seen a drummer show up with like a million toms, a million cymbals, and it's like a little low-key gig where, you know, there's no real PA needed. It's low-key, you know, and they're taking up a huge amount of space with all the bells and whistles, and yet it looks out of pocket. It doesn't fit the bill, at least with the visual aspect. So same thing, even sonically, like it may be just too much if you start hitting every single thing that you have available, like an effects pedal, pedal board, or effects processor, where you're just clicking every possible sound, and yet the music doesn't require it. The music, if anything, is maybe slightly degraded and destroyed because of it. So likewise, I want to have a pedal board in front of me at all times, right? Whether it's my monolight, something slightly bigger, something huge. Either way, I want to have different configurations that match what it is I'm doing: the band, the music, the venue. And sometimes it's not even about sometimes it's not even about all of the above that I just mentioned, but also space. I mean, some of us have played in little hole-in-the-wall venues where, yeah, maybe they want it bumping and just, hey, let's melt faces, bring all the sounds, and yet the stage or the area where you're performing isn't all that big. There's not much real estate, and you're, you know, shoulder to shoulder with your fellow musicians, right? Your bandmates. This actually reminds me of a time where I did a gig some hours away up in the mountains, and it was with a band, and somehow the power outlets were just in a weird position, and I don't remember if we just didn't have enough surge protectors, or maybe we just had the one. I don't even remember, but I felt like we were like fighting to just stretch what extension cord and cables we had to plug in our stuff. And the guitar player and I were like shoulder to shoulder, even though we were playing outdoors and even though there was space for us to spread out. Somehow, power-wise, we just like did not think about this ahead of time in taking extra extension cables, power cables, or I have no idea. It was kind of funny. Funny little image. My brother was the drummer at the time, and he had all the space in the world, and here we are, the guitarist and myself, the bassist, just standing next to each other awkwardly and doing this gig. But anyway, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation. Maybe it's just the me thing. Question to you, like for all you, do you always bring extra extensions, extra power strips, etc.? I used to always bring a smaller power strip. That way I could have at least 2 plugins for myself and 1 extra one in the event that I need to plug something else in or somebody else might need a spot. But I usually keep that at home now. And so I'm not really good, honestly, about bringing an extra power strip. I need to buy another smaller portable one. Some time ago, I looked up the same brand of little power strip that I have currently, which I really like. It's red. It pops. There's an aesthetic component to it. There's 2 USB ports up on the front. You could even turn it on where you just activate the USB side of the power strip and not the whole thing, in the event that you don't want to, power the larger equipment. So very cool. I looked it up a while back, and I feel like it's discontinued, or I just can't find them anywhere. That company was super cool because it was meant to be like an aesthetic desktop computer powering type of piece, where you have like a rubber piece underneath a surge protector for padding, so it sits on your desk or table nicely and kind of has a slight grip to it, so it doesn't just slide and move around awkwardly. And then they came in, I think, 3 or 4 different colors. There was a black one, a red one, the red one which I got, a cream one. I think that was it. I think they just had 3: red, like an off-white, cream, and black. And even the colors, right, on the color part of the units, they have that like I don't know what's it called, that rubbery, texture coating that you have like on cell phone cases and all that. I'm terrible, yeah. But anyway, that material. So you had some like nice matte looking finish, which even felt nice under the fingers when you're setting it up and everything. Yes, mine is old. I've had it for, I think, since COVID or before COVID as well. Maybe after, I don't remember. But so it's at least 5 or 6 years old, and it is, worn out and scratched up. It's not pristine, but it still looks really good to me. And a lot of people do ask, about it when they do see it, like, what kind of surge protector is that? And so even though it's a nice little aesthetic piece, it's efficient. It's great. It doesn't take a whole lot of space, being that it only has 3 AC outlets, and then the 2 USB front ports as well. And so I really like it. Small, lightweight. Well, I don't know if it's lightweight, but for its size, it's not huge. It's plenty for a bassist, right? That has a pedal board plugged in, has their amp plugged in, and you can even plug one other thing in it, obviously, should you need that. But anyway, I gotta look up the brand. Maybe in the description I'll go ahead and place the brand if I can remember to put it. I think it's called like Joule something or other, or something like that. Joule Power or something like that. I gotta look it up. I really hope I can find another one, at least one more, just to keep for gigging, and then leave the other one at home. Even though, yes, I have taken that out of my studio in recent times and taken it to gigs, but I would like to let that piece be and just have it always packed in my amp gigging hard case, a second unit, second power strip. But yeah, hopefully I can find power tonight and not have to, be sad about not using my pedal board because I didn't bring a power strip. In most cases, in every case, I don't think I've been in a situation where I haven't found a second power strip and been able to plug in my amp and pedal board. However, never say never, and it's on me if I'm unable to plug in my pedal board. Yeah, and there's even been a couple situations where I've had my pedal board not reach comfortably, the next closest outlet, and it has reached, or I've had to adjust something, move something. But yeah, that's even with like a 12-foot, I want to say it's a 12-foot power cable. So anyway, maybe I should just get a 15 or 20-foot power cable and just, rest assured that it's gonna reach plenty of power, not have like some sort of tripwire situation for other musicians walking around the stage and potentially, messing up my gear, or I don't know, causing a ruckus, right? So that's it on the power strip. I talked plenty about it, really dig it. And let's see, 14-inch mono light board is what my main brain board is. However, the new tiered or double-decker modular 3 board, 14 inches as well, monolight base on the bottom with a Creation company riser, 14-inch in length riser, and I'll have 4 pedals on that. Underneath, I am so wanting a hologram Microcosm. Microcosm has my attention. It did several years ago, maybe a couple years ago, and I've been curious. I've been so curious. I've been watching videos again, and I'm like, the reason for this would be because it has looping ability. I'm all about looping. Yes, you have plenty of granular reverb, delays, and other cool sonic abilities or effect abilities to create ambient soundscapes. But even then, even without the idea of just making ambient music, I feel like it can definitely present new sounds to the effects that will be funneled into it, right? Whether it's coming from my Ampero 2 or from my HX1. You already know modular board number 1 has the Chase Bliss Mood. It has the Walrus Audio Fable, Melee, and Slower. Plus, I have my EHX Pico Pog in the main brain board, Zoom MS60B, which I have 2. And so I feel like with less effects going into a microcosm, it would be kind of cool to make even more cool sounds with it, you know, influencing those sounds being funneled in. Again, it's a looper as well, so it's, I think, 7.1 inches. It'll fit underneath the riser. Granted, I'll have about a 3-inch, or maybe slightly wider with the jacks, you know, put in patch bay. I bought another Sonic Cake patch bay. That way, it's a cleaner input and output from one side of that board. And I'm thinking, yeah, microcosm and that would be amazing. Granted, they're not dirt cheap. They're not crazy sky-high expensive, but we'll see when I can land one. If I do, if I'm still sold on the idea. But again, I've been watching videos again, and I know that if I were to have one, that could easily just be the curveball pedal board that's underneath. It's not a utility pedal. It's not essential or a cover band unit that I would be touching on the regular, right? And so I want to have it there, kind of as like, hey, you know, I happen to have this setup. I do want to get nerdy. I do want to get some original music going for fun, or to actually record and produce. And that unit could really just take the place of the Mood, the Fable, the Melee, the Autobit Junior, right? There's some stutter quality to the microcosm as well. And then, yeah, reverb, stereo reverb, just giving it more body and space and longer trails. So microcosm, yes, it's not a new pedal, but to me, it's novel in the sense that I've never tried one. I've never played one. I don't have one. And it's still got great rep from so many people. There's still many great players that have the microcosm on their pedal board. So I'm sold. Somebody just give me $500 and that's straight away where it'll go. It'll go to a microcosm purchase, and we'll call it a day for modular board number 3. Let's see. Obviously there's the Chroma console as well, but I feel like space-wise it's too elongated vertically, and just it wouldn't fit comfortably on my board, at least how I see it. Also, maybe not, it doesn't have a looping function like the microcosm. Maybe I have that wrong. I haven't really deep dived into that unit. However, looping, definitely need a looper underneath the hatch, underneath modular board number 3. Whether it's the microcosm or not, there's gonna be a looper. Yes, the Ampero 2 has a looper, and it's great. I love it. But being able to make something in there and then dumping it into another looper, a second looper, to me, that is gold. You can really create some really cool, not just soundscapes, but song progressions, right? Chordal progressions that maybe you didn't think about initially when you made the first loop, but again, the first looper is already set, and now you want to go ahead and extend the life of that loop into a longer sequence or chord progression, right? More measures, if you will. And having a second looper, to me, is paramount. That's how I make it happen. I know there's a whole lot of loopers out there. Was it Arrows? There's Boss units out there. I've always been curious about the Walrus Audio Zero. What is it called? That Zero looper, whatever it's called. Curious about it. I don't know that I would get it just because of its size, the price a little bit, but also as a second looper, I really just need something like the size of a TC Electronics Ditto looper. Granted, the microcosm is huge, but you're getting a whole bunch of other effects. So in that regard, it's justifiable. Well, it's been 20 minutes. I'm still on the road, and I'm trying not to gas myself out before getting to the Cocktail Jazz hour. I'll be playing that from 5 to 6. So that'll be Jazz Cocktail Hour. And the main band starts playing, I think, at 7:30, something like that. We'll get fed before then and everything. But yeah, it's going to be a long day. Once we're done, hard stop at 10, 3-hour drive back. So pray for your boy, wish me luck, and see you at the next episode.